Hey guys, today we're gonna start with a grand fountain and do some decorating, and after that we'll start building the first building on the main street, a Street Fox coffee shop. So I already laid out the path for the main street so we can start right away. I had a lot of space here, so I needed to make a big fountain. First I really wanted to do that with the real water, but somehow I can change the terrain in some places within the circle. It's really weird, it's like the path is obstructing it, but yeah, it's not even close to the path. So I decided to go for normal fountain pieces. It's too bad we only have these round ones in the pirate style. I would have loved to have some fountains that look a little bit modern without skulls on them, but I will add a few things to lean it a little bit more towards a modern style. I want to go for a contemporary / modern style for the main street. I want to create kind of a big contrast between the different areas, so I'm going to make the main street look a little bit more of this time. If I would have gone for more of the Victorian style, I would have had an easier time. Also, if I would just go for a real straight modern style with a lot of white and sleek objects, it would have been easier too, but we won't do that in this episode, we will in the next one. Bit of a spoiler, I already made a pretty big food court, so I'm a little bit ahead. This main street is going to have every shop and facility we have in the game because it is sort of the nexus. I like to see it like that because we will have portals to go into different worlds, and this is kind of the main hub we have. But of course I will make some other shop buildings in different areas as well. It's not like it's going to be limited to only this area, since we don't really have portals and I will have to fake it. It would be so awesome though, now that I'm thinking about it, if we had portals and if the guests go through them, they teleport to different areas. That would have made this concept I'm going for complete. That actually would fit pretty well within the sci-fi theme. We already have some futuristic looking gates. It would be really awesome if we had something like that functioned like a portal, but I'm just letting my imagination run wild now. Just adding a few of these short pillars to give it a little bit extra detail here and there. What is actually pretty hard though in this park, the Alpine Park, it seems like because you come in from the corner, the standard grid is a little bit off and I have to adjust everything to get it exactly straight. I had a lot of trouble with that in making this fountain and I couldn't really get it nice and straight a lot of the times. I had to keep adjusting it, but in the end I think it worked out well enough. Also, the advanced move tool seems to adjust to the standard park grid when you just select one or two objects, and with that I mean you have the park border, the dotted line. It kind of just seems like it adjusts to that angle. It's really hard to explain, but it can be pretty hard to build diagonally. I will have to adjust the angle I'm working in when I start doing the themed areas, I think, to make it a little bit easier for myself. Now, adding a bunch of these water effects. Always when I'm building a fountain base, I kind of feel like something is missing until I add the water effects, and after that it just immediately feels complete. I like how it turned out, even though I had other plans when I was building the entrance, but the result is pretty cool and it will be a really nice centerpiece when you walk into the park. We'll start decorating around it, add some benches and bins too, so people can sit here. The food court will be on the right side of this, and yeah, you could just choose to eat over there or sit by the fountain if you like some more peace and quiet. Well, peace and quiet is probably not the right thing to say because it's an entrance to a theme park, so it won't be that quiet, but I can imagine a food court will be obviously busier. Definitely in this game. So we're going for a real standard kind of, yeah, I don't know, theme park feel. I always feel like I did this kind of stuff in Roller Coaster Tycoon when I made a square like this or a plaza. So we're going for the nice kept up bushes and trees that just really feel like they are trimmed and kept up very well. Adding some more lampposts, we can't have enough of those in here. They don't give off a lot of light, so we have to add a lot if we just want this area to be a little bit well lit. At this time I was really happy with the path. It looks awesome. I really love how I did the path, but also it just has a lot of little spots where you can place down trees and lampposts, stuff like that. And I decided to finish the path over here. We'll do something else at the end. I do want to add one flat ride at the end of this probably the radius, I think. So we have one nice attraction at the end of this. Behind that I want to create a lake where the portals will be on. So that is kind of the idea for now. It can always change, everything can change if I want to. Sometimes I just move on, and sometimes something keeps bothering me, or I get new ideas and I just change it. It's one of the many things. We will have to see how it all turns out. You can make as many plans as you like, but when you're creating something, new ideas just come to mind and you have to go with what feels good at that time. Yeah, this plaza is as good as done. We'll move on to the coffee shop now, the Street Fox coffee shop. It's going to be a nice, somewhat smaller building, real contemporary looking. It will look quite small next to the food court, but I think it looks cool. Maybe I will move it around a little bit later, but I'm not going for a traditional Main Street at all. I always like to go my own way and do something different, as what 2 seems to be the obvious choice whenever I can. Probably because I'm pretty stubborn and enjoy walking my own path in most things in life. So that also goes for creating things, definitely goes for creating things, because being creative is kind of my life. I couldn't live without it. So I started off with the limestone walls over here, and I will change some sections of that, the sides of that I will change into, I think it's called the stone brick walls or something like that. The classic brick wall, yeah, that's what it is. And I will change the color a little bit. I think I should build the layout first and then change the colors, because a lot of the time I just get distracted by the color scheme, and it's just really time consuming to constantly change the colors and select everything again and again until it feels right. And with this one it actually went pretty well, but in the next one I'm really struggling to find the right color scheme and it all feels a little bit off to me. What I've been doing since I started this park, I didn't do it for this building because I had a pretty clear idea of what I wanted to do, but with the entrance as well as the food court that I will be making, I kind of made just a little mood board, you could say. It's not really a mood board, of course, but what I did was I built one wall, one pillar, a roof tile piece, something like that, and just create kind of the style you want to go for the whole building and build off of that. That is something that works really nice, and I should keep doing that. Maybe also a good tip for you guys if you struggle a little bit with the color schemes, or you don't exactly know what to do or what style you're going for, just create a little example for yourself to work off. I'm really happy with these classic brick walls that you can change the color of them, because the other ones, I think it's an entire other object if I'm right, but you have the red brick ones and I never really like the red bricks. I often feel like I want to use them, but I never really like the look of it. So I'm really happy we have brick walls that we can change the color of, or maybe it's the same one as we already had, I'm not really sure. Also, I'm really in love with the rough concrete that I'm using over here for the floor, for the roof tiles. It's always so confusing to say floor because they are called roof tiles, but I often just use it for the floor. So adding another sign up here, and then we'll move on to some windows. I will probably be using these plain windows a lot in this area because I feel like this is the only real window that fits with what I'm doing here. The other ones are too, how do you say that, embellished, too many details and things on them that just really doesn't fit with what I'm doing, or with old wood or something like that. That is just something I'm not going for at all here. And I wish we had some more options for this, also for the doors, because you're kind of stuck with wooden doors. Or you have the modern door, but that one you can change the color of, which is really a bummer. I don't know why you can change some of these modern objects that we have. They are either white or blue, and the white ones you can change, but everything that has blue in them, also the blue modern roofs, the ones that we had in Alpha 1, you can change the color of, so that is just really too bad. Now we'll start adding the final touches, and if you have trouble building, this is something I can really recommend doing. It can be really hard to make a building that looks good. I struggle with that too at times, and I often hear that people really struggle with that. But if you want a building to look good, there are a few simple guidelines you can hold yourself to make a building look a little bit more realistic or detailed enough. It's all about balance, and you need to have different colors and patterns, break up the long flat walls with some other textures or dynamic shapes. You can see how I use the roof here to create a border in the middle of the walls. Added a few of these wall trims as extra borders to create another level of detail, and I did this all in the same color, so it doesn't really stand out that much, but that tiny little bit of detail makes it feel more realistic, and it definitely adds up if you keep doing like that. So just try to create some dynamic shapes. You need to have a lot of layers, and it kind of depends on the style how far you want to go with it. Like now I'm going for more of a contemporary style, so I don't want too many little things, but just enough detail to make it feel more realistic. But I'm not going to give you a full tutorial right now. That is something I can show you maybe another time. That is something that I would like to do, but I feel like I still have a lot to learn in this game as well, so I really want to wait with that. So I think the last thing we're doing here is adding some lights. And by the way, I was really happy with the primitive objects that I could make these tables where you can just hang around and drink your coffee or something. I probably won't use it that often, but it's really nice to have some primitive shapes. Every now and then you find that you just need a simple shape, and those primitives are perfect for that. So this is almost the end of the episode. I know this one is a bit shorter, but like I said, every now and then I will try to bring an extra episode out in the week. So this was kind of the extra episode that could randomly appear every now and then when I can make it. So if everything goes right, I posted this series on a Saturday, so I had a little bit less time this week, but I will try to get the other episode out on Thursday like normal, maybe a day later if I can't make it, but I think it will be fine. I think I can do it. Alright, that is it for this episode, guys. This building will be on the workshop by the time you're watching it probably, so you can go ahead and download it. Thank you so much for watching and the support for this new series, and I will see you on the next one.